Are you looking for a job? How difficult is it to look for a job? Have you ever wondered what the job market is today? Here we're going to talk about tips on how to get a good job, learn what the employers are thinking, and learn how to get ahead. I don't necessarily think that this generation works harder and longer hours than the previous generation. I think everything's all relative. Obviously, the money you earn now based on inflation is different from what the older generation earned back in the days. People actually make more money now than they did back in years ago. So things are more expensive now. So you probably make more money now than people did 20 years ago, but you need to make more money now to be able to afford the same thing people used to buy back then. At the same token, there are some things that are less expensive now than before, such as electronics. Buying a plasma TV a few years ago was very expensive. You can buy a TV now for a lot less than people did a few years ago. So it kind of balances out. Cost of living is higher now than it was before. So I think it somehow balances out, and you're starting to have more options now than people did back then. Well, I think traditionally what's happened before years ago was if you get a bachelor's degree, you were guaranteed to get a job. And then more and more people were getting a bachelor's degree, it became more competitive. So there was this notion that you've got to go beyond bachelor's to separate yourself from the rest of the crowd. So more and more people started to get master's degree. If you get master's degree in a field that you don't have a lot of jobs in, so you end up doing jobs that may not be in your field, even though you have a master's degree. If you have a master's degree in sociology and you may not have a job to work in that field, you may end up doing something outside of your specialty that doesn't require a master's degree. So it really depends on what that master's degree is in. And because there are some jobs that you must have a master's degree. If you don't, you're not going to be competitive. There are some jobs that require PhD degree. So it really depends on what specialty you're looking at. That determines, whether your master's degree is going to matter or not. I don't think people are not hiring. There's a lot of jobs out there, but sometimes a lot of people in this generation, they already have an idea of what they want out of the job. So they are very picky in terms of what they want. If a job that's out there is not what they want, they're not going to compromise because they think they should have more flexibility. Years ago, people sometimes would take whatever they can once they can find what they truly want. These days, most people will not take what they don't want. They want to just wait until they get what they truly think they want. So I think sometimes in your pursuit for the ultimate job, you may have to learn to just settle for whatever you have until you can get that ultimate job, especially if you have bills to pay. So if you have bills to pay, you want to get something. And I think every opportunity can bring you closer to your ultimate job. For myself, I did some odd jobs during my upbringing until I could find what I wanted to do. People look at me today as a doctor, and if I tell them about the different jobs that I did from college till now, they'll be like, whoa, for UPS for a few months, I've worked even as a cashier. Getting a job that you may not want right away or may not be your ultimate job is okay. But while you're doing that job, you can continue to search for the ultimate job. So there are plenty of jobs out there. You just have to figure out how to get your ultimate job. Well, I think that having a job experience is great. For me as an employer, I prefer to have someone with less experience but more open to learn, because things are always changing. And so if people come into a job thinking they have all these experience, but they're not willing to learn new things, then they're not a good employee. I think most employers are looking for people who are willing to learn, coming in and saying, I know it all. So having an experience, your experience was only limited based on what you've done. Things are always changing. The ability to be open-minded and adapt to new things as new technology comes along makes you a better employee. Always think about that. So it's not just about experience alone. Experience is great, but your ability to adapt and learn new things and change the way things are done based on your new employment is more important than anything else. I mean, there is no magic number in terms of how many resumes you need to send out. What's more important is getting a good resume, trying to match your resume to the job you're applying to, and be aware of where you send your resume to. There's nothing worse than sending a resume out. You get called for an interview and you go there. What kind of work is it? What kind of job opening was this again? So you've got to be familiar with what you're applying for, where you're applying to, know about the place you're applying to, do some research. So if you send out 100 resumes, there's no way you're gonna know, be familiar with all those things. Be familiar with where you're applying to, what the job is about, and what your role will be when you get that job, what you're prepared to offer when you go there for interview. One quick way to stand out when you go for interview is really to have confidence. Not overconfidence. Be knowledgeable about what you're applying for. Be aware and knowledgeable about what you put on your resume. Make sure there's consistency in what you wrote down, knowledge of the gaps in your resume. And if your potential employer sees the confidence in you, sees you've done your research, sees consistency in what you're saying, you're gonna stand out. All employers have seen the same old story. They've interviewed so many people throughout their career. They've seen it all. So you've got to go there and stand out. And what we consistently see is lack of confidence or overconfidence, or people not knowing what they have on their resume. The dates are not consistent. They don't know why they're applying for the job. Know your resume, know what you bring to the table, and be able to express that confidently without being overconfident. And that's the key here. That's how you stand out. The secret to creating opportunities. I think one speaker once said, opportunities come every so often. And the key to being successful is to go out there, work hard, and just keep working at it. When the opportunity comes along, you're already working hard, you just grab it. When you're not working hard, don't put yourself in a situation where when the opportunity comes around, you don't see it, you miss it. You need to create opportunity for yourself by doing all the right things, meaning that you want to be a pilot. Seek out pilots. Go to events where there are pilots. Go to where people are flying. Put yourself in an environment. Network with people in that environment. If you keep doing that, all of a sudden, an opportunity will come along and you'll be able to grab it. But you're already there. You have to create your own opportunity. Don't just sit. If you sit in your own home hoping to get a job, nobody's gonna know you're in your house. Nobody comes to your house. You gotta be out there. Creating an opportunity for yourself really starts with you being active, being proactive, going out there, put yourself in an environment, get you in contact with the right people, network with people, ask questions, do your research. That's creating opportunities. So when it does come about, you're ready to take it. What employers care about in 2025? Well, I can tell you what I care about. There was a point where I couldn't find people to work, and it's still happening, where people want to work from home, people don't want to be flexible. So they want someone that can adapt, that's flexible, that can help move the company forward. And so if you're not flexible, if you cannot adapt easily, if you can't learn, if you can't seek to learn new things, you're not going to be employed too long. We all know AI is coming. AI is here actually. Things are changing so rapidly. So employers want employees that can adapt. Adaptability is very crucial in this day of age when technology is moving so fast. So if you cannot adapt, if you don't want to change or learn something new, you're going to be left behind. If you like these tips we talked about, follow me for more tips on how to be competitive in this age of AI. The future is bright. Gotta be ahead of the game.